Are you wondering how to create a project status report in Excel? Perhaps something exactly like this. Well, if that's the case, then you've come to the right place, because today I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can build it from scratch with a load of automated functionality involved as well. But before I begin, I do just want to quickly mention that this pre-formatted and ready to use template is available via the link in the description below. Now, it will come at a very small cost. I'm talking less than the price of a cup of coffee, but it will save you so much time and effort building this out manually. So I did want to offer that, and it does help support me and my channel as well. So if you do proceed and get that, then I really do appreciate it. But with that said, I'm actually just going to go ahead and build this template from scratch, so you can kind of follow along if you do want to build this yourself or get a greater understanding of how I would do this and how it kind of works. So I'm going to begin. So the first thing I've done is I've just saved a new file. Always a good idea. I can't tell you how many times I've lost templates by just not saving them from the outset, and even setting up autosave as well. So I would recommend that you do that before you get started. I know it's a bit basic and obvious, but as I say, it should save you a lot. Well, it can save you a lot of time and frustration. So the first thing I'm going to suggest that you do is just make it really, really clear what this is. So I'm just going to put project status report in cell A1, and I'm just going to suggest that you kind of increase the font size and make it something very, very big and bold. As I say, chances are other stakeholders are going to be accessing this, so you want to make it really, really clear from the outset exactly what it is and what it's going to include. At the bottom, I would actually put the name of this in the tab itself as well. And that's going to be important as well if you're going to look to introduce other tabs along the way. So you could actually put, if you're working on a specific project, you could put that project name in here as well. You could also include various other project artifacts in here. It could be the project plan, or other kind of project, anything else you want to include. You could pull that all into one workbook, and that's where this renaming the tab can be really, really beneficial. One other thing I'm going to quickly mention is I like to work with Calibri. I find it to be a really kind of professional looking font. So that's the first thing I do, is I kind of select this area here, that kind of backwards triangle. It selects every single cell in the sheet, and from there you can change your font, and that's just going to ensure that every cell and everything that you enter from that moment forward will revert to the font that you've selected. As I say, Calibri is a really, really good one, but you may want to use something else. It might even be corporate branding. You may want to consider using, what your company tends to use. So we've got this in place at the moment. Now, what I'm going to now suggest is we build out kind of core bits of data at the top, so anyone accessing this gets an idea of what this is all about. Now, I'm going to suggest these particular data points. You may not need all of them. You may only want some of them. You may even have others you want to include. But this should set you in good stead. Now, on that note, this is the template that I use for my in my day-to-day as a project manager. It has everything I need to include in a project status report. But again, you may find other templates out there. You may have other things you want to include. So just bear that in mind. This should be, consider this the fundamentals, or a foundation to work from. So I just wanted to get that caveat out of the way as well. So what we're going to have here is these pieces of information. What I've done is I've typed them in and I've bolded them by pressing Control B. I'm also going to put these in a nice little grey. Put it in this darker one, and I'm also going to put a box around it, or a border if you like, so all borders, and that just differentiates it out. And what it's also good, if you decide down the line if you wanted to remove the grid lines to make it look a little bit neater, then it also gives it this nice look. Without that box, it can look a bit funny. Or I say box, border. So that's in place. Now what you can do is you can press Control C here, go a column or two to the right, and press Control V, and you've got that formatting, and it does bring it across the text as well. But you could just go in and just manually update the text to something like this: expected project completion date. As I say, you may not need all of these, but you may want to include them as well. So when it comes to project code, your organization may have project codes. If not, you could remove this. It may not be applicable to all of you watching. But that would be something like YouTube video YouTube video recording tutorial. So that's what I kind of mean by project code. So that's in place at the top. Now what we want to do is we want to kind of build out the kind of core data elements in the rest of this report. Before I do so, I would actually recommend that you use the freeze pane functionality just to kind of lock this in place as you scroll down. At the moment, by default, that will all disappear as you scroll down, but it's quite nice to have this kind of remain on screen as someone's kind of accessing this document. So what I'd suggest you do is select row 7, click freeze panes. So I've gone to view, sorry. So on the ribbon at the top, we've gone to view and freeze pane, and we want to press this one. And you'll see a kind of grey line across the screen. So now when I scroll down, that's always, if you look here, that's always remaining in view, and that just makes it kind of really neat. It also keeps it kind of everything kind of in mind, this key project information in mind as you scroll across the rest of the data. So now we need to build out the core sections. Before I do that, I'm actually going to create the status key first. Now, we will be setting up some conditional formatting later. Hopefully you know how to do that already. If you don't, I will be showing you. But what this essentially does, this key, is it enables us to essentially have the ability to have some drop downs throughout the document. And that will just save you a lot of time. It will keep everything kind of in unison. You know, you won't have any spelling mistakes, that kind of thing. So I'd recommend you have status key and budget key. Again, you may want something a little bit different, but this is how the concept works. So you could kind of build out from this. I'll put this in bold. I'm also going to put this in, so I've gone on the home ribbon. I'm going to put this in a little bit of a yellow just to differentiate it further. And bear in mind, I'm trying to build this as quickly as possible. So the template that I showed you at the start may look a little bit different. It's been refined. I've spent a lot of time kind of updating it, making it look really, really nice, which is why I recommend you probably get in it as well. But I'm just showing you the simplified minimum viable product version so you can get this built you know, as quickly as possible. So bear in mind, it's not going to look exactly the same. These are the options I'd recommend that you include here. We're going to have roadblock or over. We are going to have potential risk. Oh no, I did it like that. Sorry, potential risk or delay. And that's going to annoy me, so I'm going to make that like that. And I'm going to have on track as well. These are the ones I kind of recommend. Again, you may want to refine these further. Going to put border around this. Now we need budget. We need under budget, on budget, or over budget. Simple stuff. And we're going to put that in border as well. So we've got our status key and our budget key. Now consider you could put this in a separate tab as well. A lot of people do that, keep it kind of out the way. But I like to include it purely because it shows any kind of anyone accessing the sheet exactly what the options are, if you like. It just kind of makes it kind of clear what's included. Now we need to build out the various different sections. So the first one is I'd suggest, the first section would be project status this week. And I need to first spell correctly. And then the second thing I suggest you do is just make this bit bigger. And I'd bold it as well. We're just differentiating it from the table that is to follow. Now what we can do is have an overall project status. And we can have milestones. Now what I'm going to suggest you do here is select a couple of different rows and we're going to merge and center. We're going to put the alignment middle align. And then in this column here, we are going to set up a drop down. So to do that, select this cell, press data and click data validation. Now in the settings, we want to put allow, we want to change this to list, and that will give us this source option. Click in the source option and then select these 3 cells here and you'll see it's kind of updated the reference. Press OK, and then from this point there's a drop down in here now, so we can select one of those options that are included in the reference, which just makes it really, really user friendly. Then we could have a project summary. No, I won't put project summary, I'll put summary in. And in this box here, there's an area where, if I drag this down, someone could, or you can put in the summary of what's going on that week. So let's put, I'm just going to put some borders around now. So there we go. And summary, and bam. No, actually, let's put that merge and center, merge and center, merge and center, merge and center, merge and center. And let's put the borders around. So here, let's put that, sorry, like that. Let's put that like that, and let's put it like that. So here you can put a summary of what's going on. Actually, I don't want to, oh no, let's bold that out. You can put a summary of what's going on in the project. So, you know, this week we did da-da-da-da-da. You get the idea, and I'd probably middle line that. This is a drop down, and then you've got some areas for some milestones as well. You know, key actions, key milestones that either took place or kind of were completed this week. So that's project status. Next I suggest is project components, and this just gives you an area to essentially call out the various different components of a project. And actually, before I move on there, I'm actually going to put this in a light grey. I'm going to put that light grey and that in a light grey. Again, just to differentiate it out and to make it look really, really clear to the to whoever's kind of accessing this, exactly kind of what's, yeah, just differentiate the kind of column headers. So now we want, I'm going to format to paint this, put this here. I'd suggest the components you take a look at are budget, resources, timeline, scope, you know, the kind of key areas that stakeholders may be interested in. Then I'd suggest you have kind of another status, and I'll put it like this. I'd suggest you have kind of an owner or a team that is responsible, and then I'd suggest an area for notes, okay? I'm going to put the borders around all of those, and I'm going to put these in the grey as well. Now for the status, oh, I didn't do bold. For the status, if I select all of these cells here, go to data and then click data validation, we're going to select that list again. Source, these three options here. And now you'll notice that we have the ability to have these drop downs against each one. And I've just noticed a mistake. This top one should have been, so data validation, this list, because we're looking at the budget. So the budget is either under budget, on budget, or over budget. This has these different statuses. You get the idea. So we've got the first two kind of key tables that I would suggest you include. The next one is, so I've selected these cells and we'll press Control C just to build this out quicker. Control V. This one, I'm going to say work accomplished. So it just gives an idea of the key kind of, yeah, everything that's been accomplished that specific week, or perhaps that the period in the reporting. So we could put task 1, task 2, or any task number, you know, that's been completed. It may not be, it depends on your project. You may have, you know, task 10 may be completed before task 1. It obviously depends on your schedule. But I just wanted to give you a kind of idea of what information to include. Drag this across, drag this across, drag this across. And the kind of key data points that I suggest you capture is a description of the task, an owner or a team responsible again, and also reception. You know, how did different teams, individual stakeholders respond to the accomplishments this week? So these are the kind of key things that I'd suggest you include. So we're now getting there. We've only got a couple or 2 or 3 more tables to include. The next one is, I'd suggest you call out the risks and roadblocks. Risks and roadblocks. So here I would put, say, risk number, and then you can put risk 1, risk 2, you get the idea. Again, you'd want a description of the risk. Again, you'd want an owner or team. And then here you'd may want to have a fix, or a workaround, or maybe even mitigation activity. Mitigation activity. So that's in place, if I can spell correctly. Next, I suggest you have kind of an area for kind of highlights and key takeaways. And this area is kind of free. I suggest having it as kind of a free text. So if we delete this off, just have a table. Just have a table, an area, maybe actually even just like lines like this. Just an area for anyone accessing this sheet to add this kind of core bits of information. So that's all I'd put in that area. And then the last thing I'd suggest, last table, is upcoming work. Upcoming work, upcoming activities, upcoming tasks. You get the idea. Here you can put week number, you could put day. Obviously it depends on your reporting period. You could put task as well. But I'll put week in for now. 1, 2. Status, again, we're going to use the data validation. So if I select these cells, data validation, list, scroll, selecting the source, scroll up, select these little ones, press OK, and then owner team. No, we don't need that. We could just have details. We could bring this across if we wanted to. We could make this a little bit bigger. So that really is how to build a project status report from scratch. Hopefully, if you've made it this far, then hopefully you've got this in place. One of the other things I haven't actually quickly mentioned is the conditional formatting. So what you could do is you could have some different colors which essentially appear when certain things are selected. So as an example, any roadblock or anything that's over budget could appear in a red. So it just draws eyes to important information. Again, on track could be a green. That they're kind of common colours used to associate these different statuses or budgets. To set that up, all you need to do is click on the home drop down on the ribbon, and then you want to select conditional formatting. Now you need to click manage rules. None are in place at the moment, so you just need to set them up. So all you need to do is click new rule, and I'll just do one for now. You would follow this process for the different colours that maybe you want set up. So the first one, I'll just do on track. So format only cells that contain, so that's the one I'd suggest you use, the rule type, cell value equal to, and then we're going to have on track. So write the text exactly, then click the format button, click fill, and then put green. Press OK, and then you need to change this. So this reference, at the moment, it only applies to K10. We want this to be the entire sheet. So click in there, then go up here and select every cell in the sheet. So that kind of backward triangle, press apply, press OK. So you'll see that's gone green because it's noticed the on track. If I change this to on track, then that goes green as well. Any other areas we put on track, so scope, on track is going to go green. Now you could set this up so that roadblock, as I say, is a red. Potential risk could be like an amber, and then you could have different ones for this. Maybe over budget is a maroon or slightly off red. You don't want them to be exactly the same because that can get a little bit kind of confusing. But you get the idea. On budget could be a variation of green. But you just set that all up via the conditional formatting and just manage rules, and you do the same process as to what I did then. So as I say, if you got this far, maybe if you're a bit confused, or maybe you just want to get the template, in the description below, there's a link to get it. Otherwise, you can follow this video, scroll back, maybe even pause the video, go back to the start of the video and pause just to get an idea of everything that I've included. But yeah, all in all, I hope this video is useful. If it was, please hit the like button. Any questions, comments down below. And do consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. If you head over to my channel, I've got various different videos explaining how to build project management artifacts like this in Excel, in many other project management tools, and just project management content in general. So yeah, I suggest you check that out as well. With all of that said, I hope you have an excellent day.